am our brand communications manager here at isolved, and I am joined by Brad Ronek. How are you, Brad?
I'm doing great. Great to have you be part of this here, Hannah. Good
Yeah,
morning, everyone.
we're so excited. So all of y'all may have noticed that we have been sitting down with kind of our product experts here on LinkedIn, across all of our social channels, just to kind of dive in the nitty and gritty of all of our platforms and software that we offer here. And so today's kind of topic is time and labor management. So we know that inaccurate time entries and all those resources really have a negative impact on the bottom line. Our own research even shows that repetitive payroll errors is actually the leading cause for employees to look at new roles. And I know that can be troubling and kind of scary to HR practitioners who are in it day to day, especially when recruiting is one of those top things that is keeping HR leaders up at night. So we know that recruiting will be just as difficult as it has been in years past, if not more. So one way you can do that is by investing in a platform like something like isolved time and labor management, and that Brad is the expert on it. So we all know that isolved People Cloud is such a robust solution. So how exactly can we have clients utilize time and labor management today?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that our clients utilize time and labor management, whether they're a brand new organization that's coming in and they're either a smaller organization or just looking for basic time and labor management needs for just having employees punch in and out or record their time. So the system is very configurable. It can start off at the very basic, but it can also grow with organizations. So as organizations want to add more functionality and not only just capture people punching in and out, but doing labor transfers or putting up and setting in things like IP address restrictions or geofence restrictions, all the way through, now I want to schedule employees in the system and making sure that they're working the appropriate hours, and ultimately going through even a step further and saying, hey, not only do I want to schedule, but I want to be able to go in and set some guidance to say, hey, if I'm need to do so many widgets a day, or my occupancy for, my healthcare facility or for my hotel is this percentage, then these are the number of employees that I need to work specific shifts to cover that information. And so what we can do is we can kind of jump in and I can kind of walk through some of those basics related to, just the simple punching in all the way through the scheduling functionality. And as we do this, I'm going to start off by taking a look at isolved from Linda's perspective. So Linda is an employee within the system. And when she logs in, she can see that she can access it from any device. Right now, we're looking at it from a phone view. She also has the ability to use it from a tablet view, or even have the ability to go ahead and take a look at it from a desktop view. And we'll just stay in this view, so this way it's a little bit easy to see as you're coming back and looking at the recording here. But as Linda comes in, the consumer grade design makes it really easy for her to navigate. She's going to have different tiles on the screen, and she can easily come up and punch in and out of the system. So if she's just looking to do a basic punch over on the left-hand side here on the desktop view, she has the ability to do, let's say, a basic punch in and out of the system. That's just punching in and out of her home department. She then has other options where she could do like a detailed punch. She could also do a missing punch, or even just submitting an adjustment. So if she has tips or anything like that she wants to submit, she has the ability to manage that all from one screen through that punch dial that we have on here. In this case, Linda is also a manager within the organization, so she can do a group punch for her employees to manage all their punching in and out. So it's making it really easy, again, for one location for them to go in and access it. Now, if I drill into, let's say, a detailed punch, this is where, Linda has the ability to come in and view that information. So she can see where she's punching in and out from. She'd have the ability to, put in different departments or transfer departments or put notes in here. As she's punching in and out from the system, she can also have punch notes that come up. So a lot of states have specific regulations on, our employees taking their meal and taking their breaks. And so inside of isolved, it can be configured to manage that. And so when employees are, let's say punching out for the day, there can be notes that pop up to say, hey, did you take your meal today, to go along with the California meal penalty? So there's a lot of functionality, not only just to capture on this screen, but again, taking it a step further to make sure that you are in compliance for those states like California, or capturing other information related to PBI, or states like New York, where they have their own regulations as well.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. I know compliance is such a big issue for so many. So being able to kind of be compliant regardless from coast to coast, I think that's an awesome thing to have.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the system too, is it is very configurable. So you can say, hey, for these employees that reside in the state that need to follow these rules, here's the rule set for just those employees. And then you can have the other rule sets that combine, that can apply to all of your other employees across the country as well.
Yeah, like those, I know we have customers who have employees that go from state to state. So that's probably a big weight off their shoulders.
Yes, absolutely. It absolutely is. So, and then to continue on just a little bit further, so once Linda does punch into the system, then all that information can feed directly into the time card. So we provide a simple, easy view for Linda to understand what's happening, a summary of what's happening, details over on the right-hand side. And not only does Linda have the ability to view this basic information, but she also has the ability to take additional actions. So in this case, she can see on Wednesday that she punched in, but she forgot to punch out. She can see that she has a missing punch alert here. So directly from this screen, she would have the ability to take additional actions and to submit a missing punch for approval from her manager or her supervisor. Or if you'd want to provide Linda with additional information to go in and make changes to, she would have the ability to add adjustments or just enter hours. So again, there's a lot of flexibility and rules that you can build behind the scenes to say, what do employees have? And not just employees, but a specific group of employees have. You know, are you just looking for them to manually enter their hours? They could do that through the hours enters here, or you can take away that access. So they're only able to come in here and enter punches and adjustments. You know, one of my favorite parts about the system is, you know, not only at the end of the pay period or whatever it is, they have the ability to come in and verify their time card, but they also have the ability to object. And that's to say, hey, something's not right on my calendar. You know, I thought I had PTO on Thursday. It looks like it hasn't been approved, but they have the ability to object to that and send that directly to, you know, their manager, their supervisor, HR. So this way they can go in, get that corrected in order for their time card to be, you know, correct and accurate. And so they can ensure that they are paid the fair amount at the end of that pay period.
Which I'm sure is what we all want at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So this is just taking a look so far a lot about the time card information. We also have the ability for those employees to really drill in and see, you know, when they're scheduled to work, what holidays are coming up. So they have a couple different ways they can look at it. They can look at it from, you know, a monthly view, a weekly view, or even a daily view that allows them to drill in and maybe look at notes if there's notes associated with this. So organizations have the ability to build out notes to say, hey, maybe you're working at this location today, or maybe you should go to building 3 and you're working on floor 3 with this doctor. So again, making it really flexible. So as an employee, you know, whether I'm sitting at home ready to come into work or whether I'm planning my next week, I know exactly, you know, some of those notes and what I'm scheduled to work. So I get to the right building, the right doctor at the right time.
You mentioned doctors. Are there any like top kind of industries that you're seeing that are really utilizing this, or is it not limited, or is it just everyone, or what
Yeah.
industry are you seeing with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of industries that take advantage of this. Really, anyone that's looking to capture time and hours can take advantage and utilize isolved time and labor management. I mean, some of the top ones that we run into are, you know, things like hospitality. So again, when you're looking at restaurants, when you're looking at hotels, you know, those are some of the ones that are in here using, you know, some of the system to handle the scheduling and the shift swaps and stuff like that. You then have the healthcare, as we mentioned, with the doctors, where you're in there and you're tracking all that information, and even being able to capture like your PBJ reporting. So you're a healthcare facility, a long-term care facility, you know, you need to do your PBJ reporting to make sure you're getting, you know, the appropriate funding for your agency, so you can manage this and track all that information and get that report out of the system as well. And then again, some of the other ones that are really heavy into time are things like manufacturing, where you can capture that information. You can capture widgets that you're, you know, putting out and manage all of that through one system, whether that is punching in and out through isolved People Cloud like we looked at today, or we also have other options for capturing those punches, you know, whether those are physical clocks, virtual clocks, whatever they may be. So we provide a lot of variety and a lot of flexibility to all the different industries to fit their needs.
That's one of my favorite things at isolved Connect is going around and seeing all the clocks lined up. It's it's so cool to see the variety of the different clocks that we offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this has been great. I love seeing, it's fun to see kind of the ins and outs, especially when, us as isolved employees are kind of in the weeds of this, using it as well every single day. So I really appreciate you kind of diving into it. And I know for all of y'all that keeping track of your workforce can take up a lot of bandwidth. So that's where we come in with time and labor management solutions, like time and labor management solutions like we have. So it can give you so much more time back on your calendar while efficiently managing your own employees' time. So Brad, do you have anything else you'd like to add today?
Yeah, just one more thing I wanted to add. And so far, what we've been doing is we've been taking a look at isolved really from an employee's perspective. So real quickly, I just wanted to jump in as, users are coming in here and managing and scheduling employees within the system. Let's just say you have an HR professional or you have a specific scheduler that's in the system. This is where they have a lot of flexibility to come in and manage all of that information, where they can, take a look at staffing summary. So we talked about, whether you have specific widgets, whether you have occupancies, and by coming into the system and building out, that information, you can say, hey, if my occupancy for my hotel or my number of beds that I have is this, then it can help determine how many employees that you need to staff and fill that information. So you can see here, you get thumbs up for when things are going good, thumbs down when you're understaffed or overstaffed. And you have a lot of information right here at your fingertips. And then once you realize that there's gaps in the system, then you also have the ability to come in and manage that. So if you know you're short for tomorrow or the next day, you can easily come into those schedules and you can say, hey, I'm going to add employees. I'm going to remove employees. Or instead, maybe what I want to do is I just want to notify all the employees that are eligible for the shift to say, hey, is anyone able to come in and work this? So not only can we capture and send messages out for available shifts, but we can also break that down based off of certain criteria. So if you, in this case, it's a CNA shift, you have to be licensed CNA and have that tracked with inside our solution in order to even be eligible to work this shift. So as an employee, you can't pick up a shift that you're not eligible for. And as a client user or scheduler within the system, you can't accidentally schedule an employee that doesn't have that certification. Again, just to make sure that you have those right people working the correct jobs to keep you in compliant as well.
Yeah, avoiding those hard conversations of, oops, I made a mistake too.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, it's great to see both the employee and the employer view. This has been really, really great and very helpful, even just as little for little me. So, Brad, I really appreciate you taking some time with us and chatting through everything today.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I appreciate it. And hopefully we can get together again and go through some more.
Yes. Thank y'all again, and stay tuned for our April series where we dive into another